Order
Oh,
filled.
that was terrible, bro. Fuck. Oh, that was a terrible fill. Fuck.
Order filled.
Boom! Come on! I just made your monthly fucking or your weekly wage in 10 seconds, buddy. Down, man. Good morning, everyone. It is episode 2 of my Road to 10k series. Real quick, let's flash up the screenshot of where my bank account balance is at. Obviously, it's pretty lower than last time. I think I bought some, like, bread. I bought some White Monster, so valid purchases, to be honest. But anyway, it is Monday morning. We're starting the day off with morning cardio. We'll be going into school later. I only have one period, but the one period I have is during New York session. So hopefully, hopefully that doesn't disturb anything. Unfortunately, though, I do have to stay in school for like an hour and a half, like 2 hours after it ends, because I got a 1 hour period 7, and then I got a fucking parent teacher meeting to discuss like how my grades are going, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna suggest I leave school. He's gonna suggest I drop out. Now, I don't want to do that, and I'm pretty sure, I've checked online, I'm pretty sure I cannot be forced to leave, but I don't know, I just can't be arsed, man. It's the end of the year, last week of school, by the way. I'm not going to have any more school after this week, obviously until next September, unless I get fucking booted out. But yeah, I guess the plan for today is cardio, eat, walk, eat again, go to school and trade, gym later. I mean, there's nothing crazy, but I will tell you guys, I have been posting to the TikTok recently, and I think we're getting some new viewership on the YouTube from TikTok. So if you haven't already, go follow my TikTok. HGB Trades, exact same as this. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just shit posts, but hey, you might enjoy it. But let's get into how did last week go and what is going on going into this week trading wise. Kind of like, what is the situation I'm in? So last week, right? Monday we took a break even. Tuesday we won. Wednesday we won. Thursday no trade. Friday bank holiday. So we managed to pass the account. Annoyingly, we passed it on Wednesday. We really could have passed it on Tuesday and already had a winner on Wednesday. But what matters is we passed 2 new evaluations. We now have 3 funded accounts. And we are fucking ready to trade the 3 funded accounts. What matters is we have preserved the capital, We have them just all sat at break even. They haven't taken any losses yet. So that's good shit. Good shit, because it's all about preserving capital, Your setup, most likely, if you trade anything like me, your setup's probably going to only occur like 2 to 3 times a week. But I tell people this all the time. The main thing is not taking the shitty setups, 2 to 3 times a week, your setup popping up, that's enough to make good money, with scaling. But the reason people, and a lot of people will catch those 2 to 3 trades. They will get the 2 to 3 trades, which are the good trades. But they'll end up being in drawdown or break even because A, their risk management's terrible, or B, because they're just taking all the shitty ones, that are catching them out. They're getting caught out by shitty trades before they actually get to the good ones. And that was an issue with me for a long time. But really good thing you can do is at the end of the week, like on the weekends, if you've had a shitty week, just go through the previous week and, just see like, damn, this was really simple, This was really simple, like catching the good trades and avoiding the bad trades. Because with hindsight, you can see the difference between why you lost that trade you took versus the trade you could have won, and you can see the little minute differences. And this is how you start to get those like light bulb moments, as I call them. But yeah, I do recommend on the weekends. I know it's a Monday, so you know you're gonna have to wait till the next week. But if you didn't do it this weekend, today or tomorrow, you know, just go through last week. But ideally, you know, just spend half an hour on a weekend. You don't have to do anything crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna finish up this cardio, and then I don't even know what we'll do after this. Alright, so I'm about to make my breakfast, but as I make my breakfast, I just want to discuss a very important point that someone mentioned in the Discord. Well, they didn't really mention it. They kind of said something, and it kind of just made me think. So, you know, if you're not already in the Discord, first off, join the Discord. But I read this morning, someone was trading London session, and they were saying, like, they took a trade. It was a good trade. It was a winner. I don't know what the risk to reward they took was. It might have been like a 1 to 1.5. And they got out the trade, right? And basically, they sent a message like 10 minutes later, and price had like absolutely just shot up right after they took profit. And they were all like, oh, damn it, I should have stayed in. Next time I'm going to stay in. But it's like, that kind of just shows a lack of knowledge in the nicest way possible. If you're saying stuff like that after you've taken profit, like, oh, I should have stayed in, or oh, I should have, you know, left runners, like, you're just showing a lack of knowledge, and sometimes it's hard to realize without even getting called out for it. But like, you should know what your risk to reward is. You should know. Usually, you know, I have a set risk to reward, right? But you can either have a set risk to reward, or you can have, you know, like a, I guess, dynamic risk to reward where you target the nearest 5-minute high or 15-minute gap or whatever. I don't know. But at least, you know what your risk to reward is, you know, in advance. And if you don't, I'm sorry, you're not going to want to hear this, but you're going to have to do quite a few hours of back testing, you know, of a certain risk to reward. Like, that's just what's going to have to happen. For me, I like the low risk to rewards. I've had the most success with just one-to-ones. People can hate on them and go, what did someone say the other day to me about one-to-ones? They said some dumb shit, like, I don't even know what they said. But it's like, the thing is with one-to-one, sure, I'm making half the profit as someone with a 1-to-2, but I've won the last 7 trades in a row. So do you think I give a fuck? No, because my win rate is really fucking good. So, I don't know, man. Just make sure you know your risk to reward, right? Whatever it is, just make sure you know it so you're never in a situation wishing you had held for more profit. You know, and some people refuse to, like, backtest, but I guess that's kind of what's necessary to a degree, or not even to a degree. When you first start, you need to put in hours backtesting, you know? Why would you, like... And I respect anyone who's better at me than trading, but there's a key thing that I do disagree with most people who are better than me at trading with, and that is... You have to be careful when you take advice off someone who is really good at trading. Let's say they're really profitable. You need to question yourself or question them. Is this the advice that they were following as they were coming up in trading? Or is it just the advice that they're using now that they're already good at maintaining, or good at trading, and they're just like maintaining, you know, they don't need to get any better. They're just maintaining the level they're at because the level they're at is more than good enough to be profitable. I think that's some shit that, like, Alex Hormozy said, like, always see, yeah, I think it is, always see what the person was doing as they were, like, coming up and progressing compared to taking advice from that person and what they do now that they're successful. So, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. That's not waffle right now. I feel like that was already complete waffle, but let me show you guys the eggs. The eggs. They're really nothing special. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Bit of salt, bit of pepper, you know, bulking up. I'm really fucking hungry. But yeah, we're gonna get these down, and then I don't know, I'll probably go for a little walk. Alright everyone, so I'm on a little midday walk. I just got very good news. No school today. Well, I still have the meeting with the teacher. That's gonna be like at 4 PM, 4:30. So basically I can trade New York session and then just go into there. But what have I been doing since, you know, I ate my food? Nothing crazy productive. What did I even do? I don't even fucking know. Oh, I made some TikToks. Yeah, I made some TikToks, that's about it. But I don't know, man. I was thinking, like, at what point will I be okay with taking a loss? Probably never. Alright, I found a little log. I think I've sat on this log before. It's not really a log, it's like, there's fucking bugs. I was thinking, right, for those of you who do not know, I am on a, how many trade win streak? A 7 trade win streak with some break-evens in between. So, like, if I take a loss today, it is going to be annoying because it's like, it will be a loss on my first trade of the account. But at the same time, it's like, bro, I've had a win streak of 7, you know, so I can't really get super mad. But regardless, I feel like I would quite like to win this trade just because it's the first trade of the account. And then, you know what, maybe, you know, maybe I won't want to, you know, maybe I won't have suicidal thoughts if I take a loss after an 8 trade win streak, you know. But ultimately, the crazy thing is, like, with win streaks is every single trade is independent of the previous one and the next one, you know. Every trade has its own probability. It's not like every trade you take that you win, it's like the next trade is a lesser chance of being a winner. But I don't know, man. It would be nice to just take 5 wins in a row. Fucking 12 trade win streak. And then just get like a 3k payout, but realistically. But I will tell you guys what I found out. So obviously I'm on 3 accounts. I found out the other day that Matthew, who, you know, I've been learning off a lot of, he's in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, by the way, join the Discord. But I found out when he did his 10k months, so he's done back-to-back 10k months, June and May. He did that shit on... It's a fucking fly, bro. He did that... Look at my dog, by the way. What is she doing? He did that shit on 350k accounts. Ugh. 350k accounts. He didn't even do that shit on 550ks. I couldn't believe it. He did 10k on 350ks. So that made me realise, oh shit, you know, this shit might be possible to do some solid numbers. I might be able to do some solid numbers this month on the 350ks. We'll see. But I'm gonna head home right now. I'm gonna get out the woods. It's such a nice area, bro, to walk in, especially in summer with like, bro, with like the sun beaming down through the trees. But anyway, I don't think, you know, I'm hoping there's still like basically 4 more weeks left of July. I am away for one of those weeks, so I don't know how trading will go on that week where I am, you know, away in Poland, but I will be vlogging it for sure. But that's means 3 weeks. In those 3 weeks, like, I know it's not good to set goals, but ideally, right, it's not something I like actively think about, but ideally, right, I spend 2 weeks getting a payout. I feel like that's pretty realistic for me right now, to be able to get a payout in 2 weeks. I'm on 0 winning days, but I still think it's realistic. And then I spend another one of the weeks of July passing 2 more 50ks. And then I go into August with... where's my dog? Millie! I go into August with
5 50Ks. And then it's like, right, now we can lock in for a 10K month. God damn it. We got max allocation of 50Ks. I don't know if I'd ever want to do 150Ks, but I've never really thought about that. Like, drawdown rules are not that good. Millie, come! Bro, where is my dog, bro? Bro, I'm gonna have to go find my dog. Wait, where the fuck? Where did I put the lead? Oh, I just left her lead somewhere, bro. I need to go get her lead. Here's a time lapse of me analysing pre-New York market, but before I go into a bit more detail, make sure you're subscribed. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. And if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord community, link in description. But anyway, what was I looking at? Well, we had a bearish SMT, but I kind of noticed we'd already played that out into the 1 hour gap. You can see I was just looking on YouTube a little bit, but ultimately I was bullish just because of how strong, like, I mean, we're reaching up to all-time highs at the end of the day, so it's pretty hard not to be bullish when you see this kind of price action. And ultimately, you know, we had two 15-minute bullish gaps on the 1 hour. We had a bullish gap. Sorry, we had two 15-minute bullish gaps and a bullish gap on the 1 hour. You know, I was really expecting longs, so you'll see I'm getting ready to take longs, and you know, I'll unpause it once once we get to the part where I actually end up taking the longs. But you know, I did have to go to school after this, so I was really hoping I could finish up this trading relatively quickly. And as you will see, I'm not going to spoil it, but as you will see, we ended up finishing the trade pretty damn quick. So I was able to trade, go into school. Oh, and also, this was done live, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to keep checking out the live streams. But basically what I'm looking for here is, you can see we're retracing the 15-minute gap. But what do I want when we're retracing the 15-minute gap? So once we inverse the 15-minute gap, I want displacement out of it. We got displacement, but it was still pre-market. Ideally, I wanted the breaker structure. We ended up getting the breaker structure. Then we got a 1 minute retrace and rejection out the 1 minute, and then take a look.
Order filled.
Oh, that was terrible, bro. Fuck. Break even. Oh, that was a terrible fail. Fuck.
Order filled.
Boom! Come on! That's what I'm fucking talking about, baby. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Woo! Okay. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That was a terrible fucking fill, though. Holy shit, I was too slow to that. Woo! Fucking market open trade. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go. That's what I'm fucking talking about, bruh. That's what I'm talking about, bruh. That is what I'm talking about, man. Oh my days. Woo! Alright, so I just took a $900 win. Not bad. Wish it was $1,200. But I did have to de-risk, obviously. And now I'm headed into school because I have period 7 and I should probably attend it. And then, you know, parent-teacher meeting to talk about my grades. But what they don't know is I just basically made 4 figures in a fucking day. You know? Like, how are you gonna get fucking gobby? I just made your monthly fucking or your weekly wage in 10 seconds, buddy. Pipe down, man. Quick little time lapse of me in school. This was my period 7 before my parent-teacher meeting. You might be asking, how did it go? Basically, he gave me 2 options, because if you don't know, my grades are pretty shit. He said, you either resit year 12, you either carry on to year 13, which he does not recommend, or you, you know, you go find a job. And I told him, bro, anything but a job. Anything but a fucking job. So, yeah, I'll probably just carry on with school for next year. Alright, let's get into how I made $900 on 3 of my accounts. Well, 300 per account. Let's get into, like, fully in depth
the trade I took, and why did I take it? Because in the time lapse, it was a little bit scuffed. So, on the 4 hour, we are pretty clearly bullish. I don't even have to go on the daily. The higher time frame is bullish, right? So I'm going to favor longs for sure. I'm going to favor longs, right? We've got this bearish imbalance, but we've already rebalanced it. We're in this. It's kind of a bit of a chop fest, you know, recently. But overall, you know, I'm pretty bullish. Did it go up? Did it keep going up? No, but doesn't matter because I wasn't in the market, you know. You only need to be right while you're in the trade. It doesn't matter if you're wrong if you're not in a trade. You feel me? So, anyway, we've gone the 1 hour. Where is New York session? New York session is here, 9 o'clock, right? So, first off, we hadn't inversed this hourly gap, right? We did have a bit of an issue with SMTs. You could say, yeah, but there's bearish SMTs. But I don't give a shit because what are those bearish SMTs already played into? The 1 hour gap. The bearish SMTs have already played into the 1 hour gap. Now, I could have waited for this low to get swept here before then taking longs. I didn't because I didn't need to wait for this low right here to get swept before taking longs. But anyway, this SMT had already played out into this hourly gap, so I didn't care about the SMT. Really wasn't that big of a deal. Sure, right, we had inversed this gap. Where's market open? 9:30 is here. We'd inverse this market open, but what do we have right below it? Another 15-minute gap. Another 15-minute gap, which, you know, we drew into on the 9:15 candle. But you might be thinking, hey, we have bearish gaps, like identical looking bearish gaps to the bullish gaps. We have a bearish gap here and a bearish gap here. And obviously, you don't want to trade into these things. That would be stupid. So what do I do as soon as we come in the gap? I go break even. I always take break evens if I'm trading into an opposing gap to what my position is, right? So basically, you know, there's pretty much the same on both charts. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the same. When we go like lower down, but as you can see here, this is the 15-minute gap I got marked out right here. What do I want? What do I want? I want like a breaker structure. So what do we wait for? You know, we want to wait for this high to get closed above. High gets closed above. But it's still pre-market. However, on the 9:29 candle, we've retraced this 1 minute gap, which this isn't necessary, but this gives me even more confidence. We've retraced the 1 minute gap, and 9:30, like bang, that's a trade right there. The entry was late because I needed to confirm the trade. I've turned that off now, so the entry was about there. Stops were there. You know, hit the 1-to-1, 300 risk, 300 reward, and that was it, bro. So that kind of concludes the day. Not really much more to say. But, yeah, hopefully you guys, you know, found this valuable. Hopefully it was a good video for you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow, because I'm doing a video every week. And thank you to everyone who joined the live. We had 26 people watching the live while I was trading. So if you want to drop in the live streams, drop in the live streams, drop in the Discord. Subscribe. See you guys.